Talking about the True Viz VF2-640, the big change that we have here is we have a new ink set. We have green ink to complement our orange inks on here. So now we have cyan, magenta, yellow, black, light cyan, light magenta, light black, orange, the brand new green, and along with white. The first inks that I want to talk about, actually the first two here, because they're the same except for one has a white option if needed. The first ink set has a very expanded gamut using the orange and the green. You notice that we don't have light cyan, light magenta in this ink set. We don't notice any negative print quality when we take those out because of the orange and the green inks that have been added. So instead of pulling from the light cyan, light magenta, mixing with CMYK, orange and green, we get the same type of effects. The next ink set is also an expanded gamut ink set, CMYK, with a light black, orange, green, and then we put in white. We have some folks who do a lot of window graphics or backlit displays, and being able to lay down a flood of white to do some knockout work where light doesn't pass through necessarily all of the image from the background. You can place white in those areas of the image to prevent that. The next three ink sets are the same ink sets. The same ink set is that we have with the VG2. So CMYK, light cyan, magenta, light black, and orange, or we have dual CMYK capability here. Looks like we had a little bit of a typo, but that's okay. So CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, black, and dual CMYK. Now dual CMYK, you still have great print quality even though you don't have the light colors or spot colors, but it's designed more for a high production workflow than it is the trying to match brand colors and things like that. And I'm going to get into what adding orange and green does for the VF2-640. So just based off of these two inks alone, these are two color charts that have been added into the Roland color system library. You can see this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're not even talking about Pantone colors here. These are just new Roland colors that are achievable. If you look at the two charts, they look pretty similar the way that they're set up. The very top rows there have pure colors. So these are different percentages of pure orange on the left and pure green on the right, of course. And then down below we have 125 or 130 different colors here that are orange or green mixed in with CMYK colors. So these are blended colors, and you can see with the orange we get a lot of really cool reds as well. And if we look over the other green chart, there's a new spectrums with blues and teal, so it's not just strictly an orange and a green. Another big addition that we have that makes this a very expanded gamut printer is the addition of a new input profile called True Rich Color 2. If you look at the white line that's traced around here, that's our previous input profile that didn't include that green area up on the top left. That green area, surprisingly, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of colors that can be made now using this new color space that weren't able to happen before. So if we were designing in this green area and we picked a color that's in that color space, but we didn't have True Rich Color 2, that would force that color into this spectrum, and you wouldn't actually achieve the same color that you were looking for in your design side. So this really makes it so that the printer's capabilities are pushed to the limits here. So the printer was capable of hitting those green colors, but the profile was clipping it out, not allowing us to hit those green colors and pushing it into that spectrum more towards the yellows there. Another addition to the VF2 series, and actually this is to VersaWorks, so this is more of a software edition, is we've enhanced our generic profiles. So while we offer generic profiles that are great for a wide variety of medias, we also have templates that are available that you can customize your own profiles as well using these generic profiles as a template. So you can adjust from here instead of creating a brand new template from scratch. Now, this new generic profiles, even though we don't have a red ink, have been heavily concentrated into the red, and anybody that's out there that's been in the print business knows that a true rich red is one of the most subjective colors to hit. This gives you a lot of different capabilities, and I wish you could see this coming off of the printer. It's a little bit on a computer screen, depending on your screen. You may see a huge difference, or you may not see much of a difference at all. But there is definitely a big difference between the generic vinyl 1 on the left and the generic vinyl 1 version 2 on the right hand side as far as the deep, true, rich red goes. This makes it so when you're printing for clients who have really high expectations on color, you're able to cater to those folks. And all of those things together make it so that we have accurate color matching. So this is a swatch of very popular brand colors from the Pantone library that we pulled out. And we actually did some scanning work here. We use a device called an I1. It's a spectrophotometer. So I have the Pantone book, and I scan the Pantone book, and then I print out and I scan the printed version of the Pantone that comes off of the VF2-640, and we get what we call a delta E. So if you're a color geek out there, you know what the delta E is. But basically, delta E is a way of measuring color difference. So from your target to your printed color. If we look over the chart on the right hand side, I bolded this 1.0, the average. So the human eye is usually 3, 4, 5 delta E before you start to see a color shift. And I'm comparing these two ink sets. The ink set that's 1.0 delta E includes the green. And if you look over just to the right, even though we have the same setup and we have the orange in the TR2 ink setup, we're at an average of 5.3 delta E. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to get these true accurate color matching when you're trying to really wow those your customers. So what this really means, this expanded gamut printer is, yes, we can do all the normal applications, signs and posters and banners and POP displays, but when you want to add some new business to your portfolio, having these higher level customers where brand color logos are very, very important. So these deep, rich reds like we see in the NASCAR, or the greens in the motorcycle, or any of the labels that we have down below with Federal Express and Santa Cruz, those labels down there, being able to hit those colors and actually hit those targets is very important when you get into the world of brand logos. The VF2-640, and I don't want to steal the thunder from the VF2-640, but the VG2-640 now offers this green ink as well. So if there is an integrated printer cutter that you would prefer to have, the VG2-540 and the VG2-640 also offer these colors.